Okay, crossing the border illegally is not a crime?
No, it's not a criminal act.
And I'm f***ing criminal.
Instead of yelling
They
at
don't bother nobody.
All right, but
Get the fuck.
Are you here illegally?
I am not here illegally. I am under DACA.
Have you committed any crimes?
I have some cases pending.
Oh, you guys are so tough. You're taking 3 hardworking people from their jobs. Cowards.
Do you guys feel bad about what you're doing? Don't you feel like horrible f***ing people for what you're doing to this f***ing city? Don't you f***ing hate yourselves?
When you're just arresting people in front of their kids and just normal, regular people that have been here for 20 years, that everybody who has a heart can't get along with that.
The leftist media and woke activists keep claiming that ICE is arresting innocent people. This statement is provably false, and today I'm cutting through all of the BS and delivering you nothing but the irrefutable facts.
ICE says its agents use a, quote, minimum amount of force when making arrests. But every day, new videos pop up online which seem to indicate something else.
Chapter 1. Illegal entry is a federal crime. Federal Statute 8 U.S.C. 1325 states that any alien who enters or attempts to enter the United States at any time or place other than as designated by immigration officers or eludes examination or inspection shall, for the first commission of any such offense, be fined or imprisoned not more than 6 months or both. That's a federal misdemeanor, punishable by fines or jail time. In other words, that is a crime. You repeat this offense and it becomes a felony under 8 U.S.C. 1326, re-entry of removed aliens.
Well, new information shows only 1 out of 3 people who cross the U.S.-Mexico border illegally actually gets prosecuted for the crime.
So when commentators say that illegal entry isn't a crime, they are ignoring the black and white letter of the law.
Okay, crossing the border illegally is not a crime?
No, it's not a criminal act. It's not a criminal act. No, if you get charged with a misdemeanor, that's not a criminal act.
So why get charged at all then, if it's not a criminal act?
Because we have different levels of crime. Everything is not the same.
So it is crime.
No,
it's just
we
different
have different levels of. I shouldn't say crime, but it's not. It's not a crime. You're not breaking the law. I mean, you are breaking the law, but it's not a criminal act.
So it's breaking the law.
No, you're not breaking the law.
I'm talking to you, Don Lemon, and honestly, it's amazing that a guy who was able to work in media for one of the largest networks in the world, CNN, doesn't understand this very basic fact that he could easily look up on Google in 5 seconds. It's no wonder the streets are filled with Karens screaming about they're arresting innocent people. This false information is directly contributing to riots in the streets and civil unrest because people can't report the facts. If we can't even rely on mainstream media to cover basic facts and deliver it truthfully, then what do we really have? I think we just have a propaganda machine. On that note, if you guys support independent journalists like myself, it would be great if you could subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to hit 100,000 subscribers this year. Anyways, back to the video. Chapter 2. Misdemeanors are still crimes. Some pundits try to downplay that by saying a misdemeanor isn't really a crime. Title 18 U.S.C. 3559, the Federal Offense Classification Statute, defines every offense punishable by imprisonment as a crime. For a felony, you can be imprisoned for 1 year or longer. For a misdemeanor, it's less than 1 year. Both of these are criminal categories prosecuted by the U.S. Department of Justice. Calling a misdemeanor not a crime is legally false. The distinction is only about sentence length, not legality. Chapter 3. Civil versus criminal immigration violations. Here's where confusion often starts. U.S. immigration law has 2 parallel tracks. The first is criminal violations, illegal entry 1325 or re-entry 1326. On the other hand, you have civil violations, which include visa overstays or failure to maintain status. ICE handles both of these. When someone has an outstanding removal order from an immigration judge, ICE's job is to execute that order under 8 U.S.C. 1231. Not debate it. It's not random or political. This is merely federal procedure. When people are talking about immigration, you often hear them try to appeal to emotion rather than using logic and facts and reasoning. Take this clip from Joe Rogan, for example.
When you're just arresting people in front of their kids and just normal, regular people that have been here for 20 years, that everybody who has a heart can't get along with that.
No.
Everybody who has a heart sees that and goes, that can't be right. That can't be right. That can't be the only way to do this.
Right.
Because you have to think, look, yeah, we have to have a border. Yes, it should have been secure. Yes, they should make sure you know who everybody is before they get in.
Yeah.
But when people been here for 20 years, like, come on, man. That's crazy.
Rogan acknowledges that many of them have been here for over 20 years without being held accountable, without being arrested, without being deported. That means they have broken the law for over 20 years with no accountability. And now he's saying, why don't we just have them become citizens? In order to do that, we would have to cut everybody else who is trying to legally become a citizen in the line. Many people fail to take into account all of the other people who are legally trying to enter the country. We would have to cut all of them off in order to make the other people who illegally entered the country citizens. We would be reinforcing bad behavior by giving them a reward for breaking the law. He's also not acknowledging that many of these people have been stealing U.S. citizens' identities in order to stay here for over 20 years. They also don't pay all of the taxes that we pay, and they're also reaping the benefits of actual U.S. citizens. It doesn't make any sense that we'd be spending U.S. resources on foreign citizens before we're even taking care of our own people. We have homeless veterans on the streets in nearly every city in this country. Chapter 4. Who ICE actually targets.
Over the last 12 months, federal officers with ICE across the country arrested more than 143,000 individuals for civil immigration violations.
Let's look at real numbers. According to ICE's official FY 2023 Enforcement and Removal Operations Report, about 90% of arrests involved individuals with criminal convictions, pending charges, or final orders of removal. In plain English, 9 out of 10 people arrested by ICE had already been ordered to leave the country or had criminal records in state or federal systems. These are not random bystanders being snatched off the street or being kidnapped. They are individuals already processed through the justice or immigration court system. It's also become extremely common for people to say, oh, they're arresting hard-working people. They fail to take into account basic economics of supply and demand. If you have more people in the job market, that means the job value pays less, and the price of goods goes up because you have more people who need to buy things. It's no wonder wages don't seem to ever go up, and the cost of living seems to be rapidly increasing every single day. The average person has no chance of buying a home right now. Chapter 5. Why public narratives differ. So why do so many headlines paint these arrests as attacks on innocent people? Because news coverage often centers on emotional optics, families, children, or tearful relatives, without clarifying legal context. Civil enforcement looks harsh on camera, but every step of ICE's process traces back to statutes Congress enacted and immigration judges affirmed. When the coverage stops at the emotional moment, audiences never see the paperwork, prior hearings, or the court orders that made the arrest lawful. I always hear people saying that they're separating families, they're separating parents from their children, or they're arresting people in front of their kids. If you're speeding on the road at 120 miles an hour, but you have your kids in the back seat, that doesn't mean you won't be arrested. You will be arrested. If you break the law, you will be arrested. The guilt should not be on the people who want the law enforced. The guilt is on the person who broke the law. Chapter 6. Consequences of misinformation. Misstating the law has real-life consequences. When people believe ICE acts outside the law, they're more likely to interfere with arrests or distrust legitimate court orders. This endangers officers, undermines faith in the legal system, and confuses those genuinely seeking lawful paths to residency or asylum. Upholding the rule of law doesn't mean lacking compassion. It means ensuring that compassion and order coexist under clear, consistent rules. And also, you never hear anybody talking about the lack of compassion for people who are trying to enter lawfully. You want to have all the people who entered illegally, cut them in the line. You want to reward crime and punish people who are trying to lawfully enter the country. That's a lack of compassion. Chapter 7. The takeaway. To recap, illegal entry 8 U.S.C. 1325 is a federal crime. Re-entry after deportation 8 U.S.C. 1326 is a felony. Misdemeanors are still crimes under Title 18, 3559. ICE enforces civil and criminal orders issued through legal process. Roughly 90% of those arrested have convictions or final removal orders. Understanding those facts doesn't require taking sides. It simply requires reading the law itself. In an era of viral soundbites, truth is still written in black and white ink in the U.S. Code. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I have tons of other content that you won't want to miss. Also, if you want to support law enforcement, I would definitely recommend you check out today's sponsor, which is Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is a phone carrier, and they provide excellent phone service, and you can choose if you want coverage from any of the big 3 phone carriers. But if you join Patriot Mobile, you'll be supporting an organization that actively supports law enforcement, believes in the Constitution, and believes in your amendments, and believes in your rights.